a young lady came up to me and she was like, "Can I ask you a question? Does anyone ever cry in your workshops? Because I'm just in tears because this has opened up so many new doors for me and so many new possibilities." And she caught me off guard, and I was like, wow, yeah. And funnily enough, I can think of like 3 times when someone has cried because now they see all these opportunities that have been opened that they didn't know were there before that are right at their fingertips. Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa. Entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation. All right. So, Ethan, I know you have been a very busy man of late. You have got a lot of speaking gigs, a lot of workshops around AI implementation lined up. You just got back from, I think it was a full week, and we were just chatting about the fact that you're feeling the after effects of a lot of traveling this past week. But what I'm curious to hear and get some insight from you about is where you have seen some practical applications of AI in people's businesses. I mean, you run these workshops and in real time, you're helping individuals, business owners, founders, CEOs, team members build out applications or implement some form of an AI tool that they can actually take back and use that same day. And I'm wanting us to kind of debunk this idea that in order to get to that point, man, I've got to do an online course and I need to do this and I need to invest 100 hours in order to build out an AI agent. So yeah, I'd love to hear some insights from your side or anything that jumps out at you around what you've seen built in little time that can add real value.
Yeah, totally. So I just got back from a tour on the West Coast, had 3 workshops back to back. The first one was for a private company called Fluid Logic. They build these intelligent hydration systems for race car drivers, motorsports, even people who just work in hot environments, and they do some government work. But they you hook this thing. They have this device that hooks to your mouth, and it knows when you need hydration, and you just press a button and it shoots it in your mouth. So really, really cool tech, hardware tech startup. And so they brought me in to teach their team and to do our automation accelerator. So one thing that was invented there, we invent so many tools real time in this workshop. And some of it may seem mundane, but if it's someone who, if you're able to do your job twice as fast, then everyone on the team develops 1, 2, or 3 different digital assistants to help them do their job faster, to do more at scale, then that's the outcome. That's the goal that we're shooting for. So for example, one young lady was working, she handles customer service, calls and things like that, calls, emails, messages. And they have lots of policies and documents, like any customer service person, to go find the answer to the thing. They have to go look through the warranty and see, how do we handle this specific situation? Or look at our return policy. How do we handle this specific situation? Well, we built an agent for her where it responds real time. So we loaded up in the knowledge base of this agent all of the documentation. And then now if she's on the phone with someone or having an email conversation with someone, she can put the customer's response in there. And this agent is programmed to give her a suggested response based on the knowledge base. So that she doesn't have to overthink it or spend a bunch of time looking around for the answer, but it just gives her an answer in her voice with the company's data. So that was one that was a super easy build. And this is someone who had basically zero knowledge of ChatGPT besides using it like a glorified search engine. And then my second stop was EO Sacramento, and then after that, EO Silicon Valley. So I'll admit, when Silicon Valley, I told the learning chair this, when they first booked me, I was a little surprised because I'm like, Silicon Valley? That's literally where AI was invented. You could throw your rock out of a window and accidentally hit 5 AI tech founders who could come speak to you about AI. So they brought me in to do their workshop, and it was awesome, and it was super hands on. Some of the people in there had tech businesses, and some had just normal everyday businesses, from marketing agencies, direct mail. There was a notary service company in there. But you had some people who were building AI tools. You had some people who had exited. There was a person in there who had like very successful three successful IPOs and was on to her next startup. So great group, high energy. I scored perfect 10 out of 10, which is awesome on the
Nice.
feedback score. Yeah. So super happy, and probably be going back for a part two with Silicon Valley in the coming year. So some things that we built in there, a voice agent. So we built a voice agent real time.
Yeah.
I asked the entire room, I said, how many of you have AI answering your phones? 0 hands went up. I said, okay, well, who wants an AI answering your phones? Well, we're going to build you a receptionist right now. And so somebody put up their hand, and I said, okay, give me your website address. And then in 5 minutes, we had AI build them a voice agent in real time. And then we demoed it. We had a conversation with this AI voice agent that answered the phone, and it had the knowledge of their company. The guy was a little worried. He joked. He was like, okay, shut that down. That sounds better than me. So yeah, it's a lot. It's very fun. It's very interactive, but it's so easy to build these tools. And I guess talking to you before this, Justin, I had the revelation, because you were saying, and you might want to elaborate on this, but you were saying about how Silicon Valley is where the tech is made, and it's different from making it versus using it. So it's
Yeah.
almost like if I were going to speak to a company that manufactures pencils, but I'm the artist who knows how to use that pencil to draw a masterpiece, I can still go teach the pencil makers a lot of things about a pencil, even though they invented the
Mhm.
thing, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a
Does it?
great way to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to describe it. It. I think a lot of these products and these technologies are created with the hope that they are going to have a lot of different applications, but it is absolutely impossible to imagine what all those applications are. It needs widespread adoption, and it needs individuals like yourself to champion widespread adoption, where we suddenly start seeing, man, I would never have thought of that in a million years. And holy shit, that's such a simple use case, but my word, look at the impact that it's having on one's business.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on. I think a lot of us, and I'll put my hat in this box, or throw my name into the ring here. That's a lot of us feel that the real application of it is reserved for techies, tech enthusiasts only. But what you described, and that's why I wanted to ask the question, I wanted you to share it. You've described use cases, real use cases that took a few minutes or an hour to put into place, but it wasn't done by the dev team, as an
Right.
example. It was done by somebody like myself, somebody who doesn't have all the tech experience, the coding expertise, and all of that. But if you've got a problem you're wanting to solve, you can ask the right questions, and you've got somebody who can guide you, or you've got the time to do a little bit of research. Hey man, you can solve that, and you can really solve a significant challenge for yourself and for your organization. And maybe that comes to another point that you and I were chatting about, that we really are moving from I called it an effort economy to an impact economy, where previously we thought that our success, or even with a lot of people, what you should get paid or what bonuses you should get at the end of the year based on, hey man, but I've made huge effort this year. I've done X number of hours and I've done this. But what AI has really fast forwarded dramatically is impact economy. People worry a lot less about effort, and it's more about the impact. Or what effort
Mhm.
have you put in that hour-long workshop, or that 2 hour-long workshop with Ethan? That's the effort that I want to focus on, because the impact off the back of that is dramatic. But it's not just this investment of hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, because yeah, output these days is relatively cheap. And that's the reality. Output is cheap, but if we can direct that input and the effort towards the correct input, the ultimate impact that we can have. I mean, that's what you teach every single day, is direct your effort. So direct your effort towards the right input, And the output that you're going to generate is massive. The impact that that's going to have on your business is truly, truly staggering.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about results. It's funny you bring up impact. During one of the breaks at my Silicon Valley workshop, a young lady came up to me and she was like, "Can I ask you a question? Does anyone ever cry in your workshops? Because I'm just in tears because this has opened up so many new doors for me and so many new possibilities." And she caught me off guard, and I was like, "Wow, yeah." And funnily enough, I can think of like 3 times when someone has cried because now they see all these opportunities that have been opened that they didn't know were there before, that are right at their fingertips. So her use case, and this is the last example I'll give here. English is her second language. So with her business, even for those where English is our first language, we find it hard to articulate what makes our business special, because every business, we have competition. No matter what industry you're in, you're competing with the newbie, the 20-year-old kid down the street who just started doing it, who's really good, versus some type of enterprise level company that does the same thing you do. So how do you make yourself stand out in this sea of apparent sameness? And I believe that is through storytelling and informing those relationships, developing know, like, and trust, KLT. And how do we do that? By showing up consistently over and over again and telling stories, because that's what connects people. Like you were just saying, information is endless. I mean, anybody can get information now, and it's going to be accurate information. We all have a PhD level genius in our pockets that we can talk to at any time, 24 hours a day. So information has become a commodity, but your unique stories, your actual real world experiences and perspectives on the world, that's what draws people to you or away from you. And that's fine. We want more people who identify with us to come towards us, and we want those who don't we want them to go away. So one thing that I had them do was build a storytelling tool, an agent or a custom GPT, if you will, that has all of these storytelling models baked into it, so that us as business owners, when you tell it something that happened in your business, and you could just ramble to it and tell it what happened, it will craft it into a narrative that is actually appealing to your readers and to your listeners. Same thing, same content you gave it, but told in a specific way that triggers human interest and curiosity. And I got this idea from this book called Save the Cat. And it's a book written by a Hollywood screenwriter where he analyzed like the top 50 films or the top films of the past 5 decades. And he analyzed them, and he realized that there are really only 10 different stories that we watch over and over and over again. And it's just different characters, different settings, different environments, but it's really the structure is the same 10 stories in these screenplays. So obviously those stories resonate with people. Those structures resonate, and they hit certain triggers in like psychology of human beings in our brains that make us want to sit there and watch it. So if you can tell your business stories in one of these frameworks that fits it the best, then it's more likely to land and engage people, so that they're more likely to be endeared to you and your brand. So why not have AI help you do that? That's the third use case that I'll give, and that's the unlock where people see their brand, their baby, told in a way that feels like a cinematic experience. So it's authentic to them, but it's told that way. It brings tears to your eyes. It's amazing.
Okay, so let's start to rounding this one up. What do you think is a king move that we can leave the audience with here? Book Ethan King. That's a king move. Book Ethan King as number one.
Right.
I'll go with that. That's a king move. But what else?
Yeah, I mean, we'll leave it there. It's so, well, I'm always telling people grab the book, but there's nothing like, I'll leave it like this. Expose yourself to how different people are using AI. So it's not so much the mechanics of using AI, where you can go, even OpenAI, if you go to their website, the people who make ChatGPT, they have courses that I believe they're free. You can just go take free courses directly from the maker. But, still, is it really going to hit the same way as if you come to an Ethan King workshop? Probably not, because you need to see someone who's actually using it in the field in real life, and it needs to be shared in an interactive, entertaining way. But it doesn't have to just be me. I encourage people to go learn from as many different people as you can who use AI heavily and say, show me how you're using it and have them demonstrate, because I've watched different people and they all have this little unique combination of things that they do that I was completely not doing. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I feel like I could learn from anyone who uses AI heavily. And I'm not going to make the assumption that I know it all. So that would be my king move, is go learn from others and just ask them, how are you using AI? Show me. And then watch, and you can learn from 20 different people, 20 different things.
I think that's gold. My king move is around reducing overwhelm. And I think what is adding to overwhelm at the moment is we tend to ask the question to everyone, do you use AI? And then everybody's answer is yes. And then in our minds, we think that everybody is really applying it how it should be. But to your point earlier on, is a lot of people just use it as a glorified search engine. But their answer is, yes, I'm using AI. So rather, instead of asking everybody, do you use AI, get them to say it, rather ask the question, what is AI doing for you that you previously had to do yourself? Or where is AI saving you time? Or ask them for a practical application of it, because then that helps you sift through the people that you can double down on and say, please, can you teach me that? Versus somebody else who you realize is actually further back or further down the field than you are yourself, because they're just using it as a glorified search engine.
That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Quick favor before we go. If this episode made you think differently or helped you see your next move more clearly, take 30 seconds and leave us a review. It helps the show reach leaders who need these conversations. Remember, in chess, like in business, one right move can change everything.
Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum. And if you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for the next breakthrough. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations.
Until next time.